What's up, everybody? This is my new to me 2023 Stinger GT2. Now, it's not a surprise on the channel that I bought it because I did post a vlog of me going and getting it and replacing the charger, but I've owned it for about a month now, even though I was out of town for a week. And so now that I've had a month with it, I want to review it. If you don't know the Stinger, it was Kia's answer to the luxury sports sedan. It competed in the class with about the 335, 340i, that kind of range. So not full M cars, AMG cars. But, you know, in the range below that where it's got good performance, good luxury, and I'd say that this car does match that. We're, of course, going to do our walk around outside, go engine, go trunk space, and then we'll do our interior. So starting off with the looks on the outside, I think it's a great looking car. I think the silhouette's good. I like the high belt line here. You know, even if I think the C-pillar is a little bit thick, I still like the way it all looks. The wheels, at first, I did not like the wheels. In pictures, I didn't like them. I know it's pretty common to not like them, but in person, they're a whole lot better. They're still not my favorite wheel design in the world, but I do actually really like the way the wheels look. I just don't love them, but they grow on me every day. They're 19-inch wheels. They got nice big Brembo brakes on them, nice big red calipers. I actually really love the way this car looks from every angle. The side angle's nice. I've never been big on the big red reflector here. It's one of the things I always didn't like about the Stinger, but I do like that. I got the red one, so it blends in a little more. This red is arguably the best color for the Stinger. Now, why am I blanking off what color red it is? But I'll put it here somewhere. The only thing I don't like on the outside of the car is the fake hood vents, and then I don't love, it's a common thing with the Stingers that this trim here fades in some spots. There's a few spots that I have trim fade, but it's not too bad. Other than that, I love the way it looks, so let's move on to the front. So moving on to the front, like I said, you have these fake hood vents. I wish they were real or just not there, but they don't look terrible. They don't look bad. Here you have your nice front grille that I like. You have your front sensor and front camera here. You have the headlights, which I really like. My one real complaint on the front is the wipers. When you lift them, there's no clearance between the wipers and the hoods, and it will wear down the paint. The new Kia badge, I don't love, but I like. It's fine. It still looks like KN to me, K backwards N, but I think the front's a good-looking car, so let's pop the hood. So under the hood, we have a 3.6-liter twin-turbo V6 that has 386 horsepower. Pre-facelift, it was 383. Doesn't really make much of a difference, but still. 376 foot-pounds of torque hooked up to a all-wheel drive system that gives you a 0 to 60 in about the 4.6, 4.7 range. And one of the nice things is you have these built-in strut tower bars, which help with that chassis rigidity and really helps with the handling of this car. There's not much else to say under the hood here, so let's move to the back. All right, so now we've moved on to the rear. I like the way the rear looks. I like that you have the light bar going all the way across. I like these 4 exhaust tips, although they are fake, unfortunately. You can see closer that there's exhaust tips inside of these fake tips. And you go down to the bottom, I like that it's black down here with this black trim, and then you have this black factory diffuser, which looks really nice as well. I love the way that all of this comes together for the rear design. But one of the best parts of the rear is instead of a traditional sedan trunk, if you don't know, it's a liftback. So you have a hatchback, which gives you more capability, more space. It's 29.3 cubic feet of cargo space in the back. If you fold down the seats, which I don't feel like leaning in, so I'm not going to do, but there's latches on the back of the seats, it goes up to 40.3 cubic feet, so a lot of cargo space, a lot more than the Charger I had. And then under here, you have tools and a jack, and you actually have a spare tire in a 2023, which is definitely significant. So it's nice to have the spare. There's nice cargo space here. You have this cargo cover, which you can detach up here, and then I haven't messed with it enough, but I think you can take out if you really need the room, because that would be normal. But I love that you can take this down, put this up, but a lot of cargo room back here. And while we're in the rear, let's take a listen to how it sounds. I think it's pretty muffled. It sounds good with an exhaust, but I'm not going to modify this, but let's listen to how it sounds. All right, so we've moved into the interior now. Starting off in the front seat, first of all, one of the things I love is when you turn the car on, steering wheel comes down, seat scoots up, and then obviously in the reverse when you turn it off, so that way you are able to get in and out more easily. So starting left to right on the door panel, on the driver's side door panel here, we have our seat memory and our seat memory setting. We have our normal door controls. You have your auto folding mirror control here, your mirror setting controls, your windows locked, window switches, all of that. and then a little bit of door space and a door pocket on the armrest, and then a big door pocket with a cup holder on the bottom. Then you have switches for how bright or dim your interior lighting is, your lane keep control, open to your gas tank, and open your trunk. Moving into the center here, we have our gauge cluster, which has a screen in the middle, but has just analog gauges on the left and the right. The screen in the middle, of course, will show you your temperature outside, your mileage, what gear you're in, auto start stop on, lane keep assist is on, your range. It also has screens for miles per hour and tire pressure. The next page is going to be gauges that show you engine temperature, turbo torque and power, and then turbo PSI. Moving on to the next page, you get your gas mileage, which you get total over the life of the car. You get since you last filled up with gas, you get on the current drive, and then you have an auto stop timer. Then finally, moving on to the last page, you have a compass. Then you have lane keep assist and how high your attention level is. And if your attention level dips low, it will tell you, like, take a break. It'll give you that warning. And then you are right back to your gauge cluster screen that shows miles per hour. On that pretty simple gauge cluster, above that you actually have a heads-up display that when you turn on and off the car shows a cool animation. Then you have your normal stalks with wiper controls, light controls, auto, with auto wipers, which is a nice feature to have. On your steering wheel, you have a simple, nice-looking steering wheel with a flat bottom. You have your radio and voice controls on the left. Then on the right, you have the button. You have the pages button for your gauge cluster, as well as being able to scroll through that and hit the OK in there. Volume control, cruise control, lane keep assist on and off, cruise control on and off. Then moving into the seats are nice. You have extendable leg support in front of you, as well as lumbar support and all your typical seat settings. That's kind of it for the driver's side. Moving into the middle, you have your gauge cluster, which has an okay looking home screen, and then you have your different widgets throughout here, including a user's manual, Kia Connect, voice memo, navigation if you don't use CarPlay. You have your valet mode settings. You can do your climate settings through here. The only real complaint I have with the infotainment system is when you plug in your phone, it doesn't automatically switch to Apple CarPlay, which would be nice, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. You got to get into it from the home screen, swipe over, hit Apple CarPlay. It's not the biggest deal. The things I don't like in the middle is it's where you really start to notice the the piano black trim around the gauge cluster. You have a little on the sides here. It's not too much. Then you have a little around the gear selector as well. But moving down from the screen, you have 3 circular vents which move 360 degrees, which are really nice. Then you have buttons, which is nice. You have a map button, a navigation button. You have a start button, which is your favorite page, which I use as a home thing because there's not an easy way when you're in Apple CarPlay to get back to the home screen. You have your hazard lights, radio, media, setup. You have your volume control. You have your skip track control here. One thing I forgot to mention, the infotainment, is you have profiles that you can set up for different drivers. You have 2 profiles, which is nice. Moving down from these buttons, you have all your climate control buttons and a button to take you to the climate control screen, which is nice. You have a storage container here, a small one that really doesn't have much storage in it, but it has a 12-volt, a USB, and a wireless charging pad. Moving down from there, you have this center area, which I hate this trim here. It blinds you when you get a sun reflection. Your gear selector, which I'm not a fan of. If you're not going to do a traditional one that slots into position, I think you just do buttons, but it has a parking button, and then it rocks back and forth to change and goes back to center. You have your parking brake. You have your auto hold, your drive mode selector, which is nice. In the screen, you can see there is a smart mode, an eco mode, comfort mode, sport mode, which actually the bolsters inflate when you go into sport mode, and then a custom mode, which you can set up in your gauge cluster. The smart mode will detect how you're driving and change your driving settings to one of those modes based off of how you're driving. Then below that, you have heated and cooled seats, which are really nice. You have a heated steering wheel, parking sensor, parking camera, which is nice. You get 360 camera in this car, auto start stop on and off, a little storage pocket in front of the center console, and then a not super big center console. The storage here is kind of lacking. Above that, you have controls for your dome lights, whether the lights come on when the doors open or not, Kia Connect if you have it, emergency button, and then you have a sunroof, which is nice. It both opens and tilts. Then finally, over on the passenger side, you have a glove box it's not very big. It doesn't hold a lot of storage. There's not a lot of interior storage in here, which is nice because it makes me not hoard stuff. And then passenger doors the same. One thing I forgot to mention is you have your nice Harman Kardon sound system with your tweeter, your speaker, with nice stainless steel. I think the materials overall are pretty good, especially considering that this is somewhat of a budget luxury car that's just designed to compete with luxury. But that's really it for the front seat. It's pretty simple, nothing too special, but just a nice place to sit, nice place to drive with nice comfortable seats with good bolstering. But let's move to the back seat. Quick cut in, I'm actually filming some B-roll, and I remembered two things that I wanted to mention when I was going over the interior and some of the features that I forgot to mention, and that is the side mirrors are auto dimming, and they're heated, so when you turn on your rear defrost, if there's ice or snow on the mirrors, it'll heat up the mirrors and defrost those mirrors as well. And then for the rear view mirror, the rear view mirror is it's a good mirror. It's auto dimming, and on the bottom it has 3 buttons for your home link for your garage doors. One more cut in because I just can't keep track of anything. A small thing, and I forgot to mention it because it's not really my thing, but there is some ambient lighting in the Stinger as well, and you can change the color within the infotainment system. One more cut in because I'm just the king of forgetting things. I can't believe I forgot this. It's one of the biggest features that Hyundai and Kia have, and that is the blind spot camera, something that I'm surprised the rest of the industry has not adopted, but it's another great feature that the Stinger has when you turn on your turn signal, and it puts a little camera in the screen in the gauge cluster and shows the side of the car that your turn signal's on, so when you're switching lanes, you have blind spot monitoring, blind spot camera, and of course you should still do your head check, but a great safety feature that the rest of the industry should adopt. Back to the review. So moving to the back seat, you can see there's actually decent leg room here. The problem is the foot room. I actually have the seat all the way on the floor, and a thing I forgot to mention is the floor in this car is very high for whatever reason. And so when you have your seat low like I typically do, it's hard to put your feet under the seat. So the back seat's pretty simple, but it does have some nice amenities. On your door, you have the same materials here. It's nice that they were consistent with the materials, although, of course, you don't have that stainless steel grab handle, but you have the other stainless steel here. Window control, nice thing on here is there's actually rear heated seats. You get 3 levels of heating in your rear seats, and that's on the door, just a button on the door for both of the outside seats. Net pocket, the plastic here is a little bit cheap on the back of the seat, but you have a net pocket, which I actually prefer over leather or cloth pockets. In the middle, you have more 360 vents. You have 2 of them with rear temperature control dial. You actually have a 12 volt and a USB. Unfortunately, none of the USBs front or rear are USB-C. They're all USB-A, and there's only one in the front, one in the rear, and a 12 volt in the front and rear. These seats are nice and comfortable. They don't really have any bolstering or anything, but they're nice, comfortable leather seats. There's just not much back here. There's a dome light, of course. You have your handles, and then you have armrest and cup holders, and that's really it. There's not a lot going on in the back seat, but you got heated seats, you got comfortable seats, you got nice sound system, rear climate control. There's not much more you can ask for other than maybe the driver puts their seat up a little bit higher and you can put your feet under the seat, and then you actually have a good amount of leg room. Plenty of headroom despite the lift back design with a more sloping roof line. So nice place to be. I'm 5'10", I fit back here. I would like to be able to put my feet under the seat, but other than that, no complaints, comfortable place to be. So let's go take it for a drive. All right, we are out driving the Stinger. So the Stinger, if you have been following my channel, was a replacement for the Charger. I needed to downsize, but I didn't want to necessarily downsize performance. And while I missed the V8, this twin turbo V6 is awesome. The torque is low in the power band because the turbos are smaller, which is fine. And despite being 100 less horsepower, it's just as quick as the Charger because even though it's 100 less horsepower, it's all-wheel drive and weighs a few hundred pounds less. So that's nice. So not only is it just as quick, so I didn't have to sacrifice a lot, it's a much nicer place to be, way more features than my Scat Pack had, way more comfortable to be in. But on top of that, not only is this car pretty quick. Ooh, we got a tunnel really quick. It's gonna mess up the audio. It's gonna mess up the lighting. But not only is this car fairly quick, as I mentioned, a 0 to 60 time of about 4.6, 4.7 seconds. Also, this car handles phenomenally. It's a great handling car. I haven't taken it to Tail the Dragon yet, which I want to, which will be a real comparison for the Charger, which I'm going to do a video comparing how I feel about the two vehicles. But I've taken it on some back roads. I've had some fun in it, and it handles really well, though it does not feel as heavy. It's still a somewhat heavy car compared to the Charger. It's not, of course, but it's still a pretty heavy car. And comparatively, you know, I don't feel the weight near as much. This car masks speed, surprisingly. You know, I'm not surprised that the Charger masked speed because it was such a large, heavy car, but this is a smaller and lighter car, and I still catch myself doing speeds that I shouldn't be without even feeling it because the car is just so comfortable. The drive modes are good. It changes pedal response. It changes, which, by the way, weird thing in this car, the pedals hinged on the floor instead of rear hinged, which threw me off at first. But the sport mode, the pedal is super responsive. It accelerates fast. It gets through the rev range fast. The suspension is a little bit different, so it's a little bit nicer. It's got the adaptive suspension, so it handles well. And overall, I've really enjoyed driving this car. It's quick, it handles well, and then when you just put it in comfort mode, it is truly comfortable. It's a nice ride. I haven't taken on a long trip yet. That's coming up in May when I drive 6.5 hours to go visit family. But I've taken it 2-3 hours each way, and I could do miles and miles in this car. It's very comfortable. So it's nice if you want to go have fun, you can jump in this car and have a lot of fun. If you need to go on a road trip, it's very comfortable for hours on end. And if you need to haul some stuff, it's got a lot of space in the rear. And so I've really enjoyed driving this car so far. I haven't had any rear passengers yet, so I don't know how the rear seat feels, but I've ridden passenger in it while I've let a friend drive it, while I've let my fiance drive it. It's comfortable in the passenger seat. It's comfortable to drive. And overall, it is a great driving experience. I got this car CPO'd with 26,000 miles for $39,999, and I think it's worth every penny, especially when I traded in the Charger and got some money back from it. But overall, I think it's more than worth it. It's a great driving experience. Like I said, quick, comfortable, handles well. It's surprising how good it handles, and I think it can definitely compete with the cars that it's supposed to compete with. So I love the Stinger. It's great. You know, I've only had it for about a month, but it's an easy, when you consider value, performance, usability, all of that, it's an easy 8 out of 10 plus car. I absolutely love it. But that's my thoughts on my Kia Stinger GT2. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like car content and you want to see mine first. I will see you in the next video. Thank you again for watching.